So we've already had a look at the Valuing People tool and your role as an organisational administrator. In this next tutorial, we're going to look at inviting participants and how to organise participants to undertake the survey, and how you can use some of the tools on the website to produce some meaningful results for your organisation. Before adding participants, it's good to consider the best way to use the assessment tool for your organisation. You have two tools available to group your participants with: demographics and versions. Let's now look at both in a little more depth. The demographics function allows you to create demographic identifiers particular to your organisation. It is not mandatory, and many organisations don't have a need for this feature, but adding a demographic field will allow you to arrange data into meaningful order so that you can analyse it more effectively once the assessment is complete. Adding a demographic field will allow you to arrange assessment data into meaningful order so that you can analyse it more effectively. Things you might include are the different sites from which you operate, i.e. North, West or South East region, varying situations for consumers such as a person living with dementia, age or gender of consumer. Things you should not include are details that would help identify an individual participant when analysing the assessment data. To add a demographic identifier, click on Add Demographic link, which you'll see on the screen. Then specify the demographic identifier, such as the geographical region, and then click on Save. You can add several options by repeating this task. These will then get added to a list and will also become available as checkbox options when adding participants later in this video. You'll notice an option to edit the demographic. We'd recommend only editing demographics if you've made a typo, need to clarify an existing demographic, or have not yet added the demographic to any participants. Otherwise, you may affect the quality of the data when the assessment has been completed. Versions. Similar to demographics, versions allow you to group participants completing the assessment. Where versions differ from demographics is in reporting, as each version will have a distinct set of results, while demographics will be included across all result sets. This system of versions allows your organisation to repeat the assessment process at different times or within different departments and compare the data sets. The initial version of the assessment for your organisation will be the default version, and for most organisations this one version will be enough. However, if you would like to create another version, you can do so by simply clicking on the New Version link. Add a title and a descriptive comment for your new comment, then hit Save. Once versions have been added, these will become available as a drop-down option whenever you add a new participant, allowing you to group your participants by the versions you've created. Once you've added the demographics and versions that best group participants in your organisation, it's time to start adding the individual participants. The participants page allows you to add participants and allocate the appropriate survey for them to complete. For your assessment to produce results, you'll need to add at least one participant. To add your first participant, click on the Add Participant link. Start by entering a participant's email address or create a username that looks like an email address. For example, consumer1@yourorganisation.org. Each participant needs to have a unique email address. Select the role that the participant has in your organisation. Leaders are your organisational executive who can speak to the overall experience of the organisation. Staff are any paid employee within your organisation. You'll also be able to specify whether this participant works directly with consumers or not. You can also use this survey for volunteers in your organisation. Carers could be family members or significant others. Consumers are the individuals who receive the support. Some may require assistance from a carer or staff member to complete the survey. If you have created any demographics, you can select them here, and if you have more than one version, you can choose which version to add this participant to. For For those participants with a live email address, they will receive an email containing their username and password. For those participants without a live email address, the username and password will have to be provided by you. You will notice that all participants have been added to the overview list. If ever you need to provide a participant's login details, you'll find them on this list. Once you've added all the participants that you'll be using in the assessment tool, you'll want to give them some time to fill out their surveys. In the next video, we'll explore how to interpret the results. To get the most out of using the Valuing People resource for your organisation, it's important to plan ahead before you start adding participants to the resource to ensure that the demographics and the version options that you have available to you on the website capture the really important information that you need for your organisation to ensure that the results you receive and the data obtained is really what you are looking for in this process.